Many years ago, Christians all over the world believed that we were merely here on earth so that we could struggle to make heaven. Later, there were others that believed our faith was only about healings, miracles, and prosperity. That was until we got a better understanding of God's will from men like this.
I am from a family of 11 children. We were born in a wooden house on 4 big rocks in the poorest village on my island in the Bahamas called Bangetown Village. We were born with 2 bedrooms in a wooden house, one for my mother and father, the other for my 7 sisters. We slept on top of one another.
From humble beginnings, he discovered something so much bigger than he could imagine. He had a message for our world.
God's desire is for the earth to be filled with the glory of God. Go you into all the world and preach the good news of the kingdom. Pray for heaven to come to earth.
A life dedicated to bringing the message of God's kingdom to the world and stirring our hearts to fulfill our purpose in God.
There's a greatness in you that God has already named. You are not who you're supposed to be yet. As long as you're breathing, they haven't seen anything yet. Everything is a seed. It's called potential.
A mentor to many and leadership coach to business and government leaders around the world, Dr. Munroe was the author and co-author of numerous life-changing books as well as a featured speaker on motivational and Christian recordings. His vision was to transform the followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change, a vision that was accomplished without doubt through his ministry, his books, messages, and his numerous training and mentorship sessions around the world. But beyond that, he was a friend to us at the House of Freedom.
Good morning. This present house, Waterbrook.
I'm sure you guys can do better than that. Yeah!
Why didn't they bring me here earlier? This is the real thing here.
His was a life full of greatness, a man who lived what he preached and an inspiration to us all.
I'm going to leave you. My prayer is that you will give yourself away to the world like a fruit tree. You'll distribute your fruit. Prepare yourself right now. What's on my marriage, my children, my businesses, my ministry, my body, my home, what God has done for me all these years is going to transfer to your life. It is God's will that you die empty. I've done what I was born to do. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. I have been poured out like a drink offering. There's nothing left. I am ready to die. It is better for you
Es mejor para vosotros
that I go away.
que yo me vaya.
If I do not go away,
Si no me voy,
you won't be great.
no serán grandes ustedes.
My absence
Mi ausencia
is your
es
greatness.
tu grandeza.
What happens
¿Qué pasa
in your absence?
en tu ausencia?
That's your legacy. Success
Porque éxito
without a successor
sin uno que le suceda después
is failure.
es fracaso.
My son,
Mi hijo,
who is 29 years
que
old,
tiene 29 años de edad,
is running my businesses.
él corre mis negocios.
Please welcome to the podium, Myles Munroe, Jr.
I want you all to know that in spite of the recent tragedy that claimed the lives of my parents, Dr. Myles and Ruth Munroe, we all have comfort in knowing that God is in control. I would like to make it known that although we are grieving our losses and are deeply saddened by this tragic event, we have never been, nor will we ever feel hopeless. We rejoice, for we know that they are in a better place. This tragedy does not mark the end, but it marks the new beginning of an era of a new generation that will carry on the vision and the legacy of my father and my mother. So let's not mourn. Let's not mourn their deaths, but let's celebrate their lives and find joy in knowing that although God may not explain himself, he will reveal himself. In the words of my father, the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but it's a life without a purpose. You guys have to understand, we are not hopeless. We aren't mourning their death, but we celebrate their life. Thank you.